All right. Now we're live, guys.
All right. Before we kick this off, just a heads up. This podcast is real, raw, unfiltered. You're going to hear some foul language, strong opinions, and unapologetic conversations. No topic is off limits. We're not here to sugarcoat anything. We're here to keep it honest and real.
I
We
like it.
started this after serving, moving on to different parts of our lives. Realize how important it is to stay together. There we go, stuttering Stanley, together and connected. So this is the opportunity to connect with brothers, continue learning about each other, and share the real stories of military life, before military life, and after. Our goal is to support one another, laugh at the crazy stuff, and also help others with who might be going through similar experiences, whether they're still in, about to transition, or already living civilian life. So, with that said, let's give it to intros.
What's up? My name's Ephraim. Uh, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Well, I guess Shirts, Texas, because Shirts is in San Antonio. I served in the military Marine Corps for 8 years, from 2008 to 2016. Something unique about me before the military is I like to play drums. I can't skate to save my life. I could rollerblade, but I can't skateboard. I will fall on my ass so hard. I got no balance. What I do now is I am an inventory control coordinator for Dr. Pepper. One fun fact about me or a light detail would probably be that I got a degree in game design and I'm not using it.
It's
Just
temporary.
because
That's
the industry,
temporary.
yeah, it's temporary. The industry is just really bad right now. Like, unless you got experience, you know what I'm saying? You ain't getting a job. Or unless you're really, really good at what we do. So, yeah, it's tough out there for a pimp. You know what I'm saying?
I'll drink to that, I guess. All right, so I will segue into introducing myself. My name is Miguel. I served in the Marine Corps along these two fine gentlemen. I served for a little over 13 years. I was in the utilities field. I enjoyed doing what I do. I was medically retired from the Marine Corps after a motorcycle accident, wearing that same suit, which I spoke upon on our initial take, where the audio was complete garbage. But that's the tracksuit I was wearing when I laid the bike down. Tore my tricep. Ended up getting medically retired a couple years later from that accident. And what I do now is, after hopping from job to job, I'm a service manager. I have 30 technicians under me. And what I do is I work for a manufacturing company that designs and implements different designs on a case-by-case basis for uninterrupted power solutions or systems for different, like I said, different applications. Yeah, I've been doing that for a couple years now, and I enjoy it.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Yep, yep.
Uh, Luciano, or Lucy, originally from California, grew up in San Antonio, Marine Corps. There's a trend here, right? 8.5 years myself. Something unique about me before the military. I would say I huge Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. That's just who I am. um, Still carry that on even now. Um, what do I do now? I am a recruiter for a software company that specializes in accounting software for um, hotels and hospitality industry as a whole. What I did in the Marine Corps was logistics, specializing in maintenance management. Barely did that out of the 8.5 years, so that's irrelevant. One fun fact or light detail about myself is I've survived 3 different motorcycle accidents and still riding today.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
the last one was 5 years ago. We're good.
That was a Chrysler
So
300, right?
yes, yes, it was. All right. So,
Damn.
so I guess today, on this take, because again, take two, we're gonna talk about a couple different things. The first one is, what was life like for you guys growing up? For me and Ephraim, there's probably gonna be a lot of similarities and parallels, as he's my older brother. So with that though, he also took off out of the house very early on in my life. After there's a significant age difference as well. So parallels, similarities, but not the exact same situation. But whichever one you find, gentlemen, would like to tell us first.
Well, I guess
I
I
guess
can.
I'll.
Okay,
Yeah,
you go.
you
You
can
go.
go.
You go. No, you go.
You want me to go?
Go for it, man.
All
Knock
right.
'em out.
Life for the most part, as a kid, was probably good. It was bad, but it was good. And the way I can it's like say that is like I remember growing up in grandma. We were always at grandma's house. Grandma's house was fun. We ran around outside. We played outside. It was, hey, we got locked outside, drink water from the water hose. You know what I'm saying? We grew up dope.
Yeah.
It was dope, but we always had fun. And then, growing up, that was my father's side of the family. But they always, my cousins were always around. If not, they were like 2 blocks down. And at least back then, the neighborhoods were safe enough for me to just walk over there. Hey, grandma, I'm going to my Theo's house. Boom, just walk over there, have a good time. It was more of when we left to Texas that it got rough. And I remember us moving. I remember we left with my tia Mode. You know what I'm talking about. I think you were with us on that road trip, weren't you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
from the from one valley to the other.
Yep. The one valley to the other.
Yeah.
And me, our sister, and Lucy, we took off with my tia Mode, and we took off before my mom left, so she can like get everything figured out. We took off, but I remember that one house we lived in, Lucy. You know what I'm talking about, right across the street from Theo Marcelo.
Yeah, that
That
like
that
little like
literal box, bro, and I mean literal box. We all slept in. There was no room. It was a living room. We slept on one bed and the floor, blankets and all. The coolest thing though, the coolest thing I do remember from that time, because I was like sixth or seventh grade at that time. I think the coolest thing I ever saw was I walked home and mom was trying to play Super Mario World on Super Nintendo,
That's
and she
that's
couldn't,
dope.
dude, but she couldn't get past the first major jump. You know, she couldn't figure it out. But
Not
so I
even a shell
remember,
assist, man. Not even a shell
dude.
assist.
And then here's the crazier part too. Like I don't know how Lucy felt about this, but I remember that summer we had gone to Mexico. I remember it. We got sent to Mexico to go spend time with my aunt at my mom's childhood home.
that was
And
a
it
different summer.
was it a different summer?
It was a different summer.
Okay, but it was okay. So it was a summer though. I do remember that much.
Yeah, it was a summer.
It's good
But
enough.
so, dude, this is the crazy part though. This is how crazy and how fast it moved from us leaving the valley to San Antonio. Like this is how fast it was. We were out there having a good time, being kids. You know what I'm saying? From there, mom shows up with some vato we don't even know, bro. And I say vato because we Chicanos, we Latinos, but like we never knew this dude. Supposedly they knew each other from when like mom and him worked together back in the day. All of a sudden, we're moving to freaking like back to the States, back to San Antonio, and before the summer even ended, they were married, bro. Like that.
It'd be like
Like
that sometimes,
instant.
man.
Bro, it was
Yeah,
like that.
it's
What's that
that
one movie?
old
Instant
school.
Family?
Yeah, it's that old school Latino mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But your timeline's a little skewed.
It
It's
is.
a
It
little
is.
skewed.
It's been a while since we've talked about this stuff, but
But it's crazy how we remember things, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. And then
No, I
like,
go on, go on.
and then
I'll speak after.
from there it was. I don't know. It felt kind of normal, but it was definitely not normal. It was definitely not normal because all the friends were in sports or some kind of extracurricular activities, doing some. I was in band and could barely afford that. Because you remember there was four of us, bro. There was four of us kids at the time before baby bro came into the picture.
Damn.
You know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
That's
And
right.
then we're living in a 2-bedroom house, bro. A 2-bedroom house. This is before my stepdad even like converted the garage which by the way had no AC in it at first, in the Texas heat. That shit was hot. Hot. And then you wondered why I was always skinny, fool. We were sweating, bro. Literal sweat.
Because you weren't in your 30s
But
yet.
no,
That's
no.
why you were skinny.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro. But like, no, we you know, I remember nights where we like sleepovers. Sleepovers were bad too, bro. Like, okay, I'm jumping ahead. Well, first off,
Yeah.
the rule was the girls slept on the bed and the boys slept on the floor. Bro, this shit didn't even have fucking tile on the floor, bro.
We're going to go back to that. We're going to go back to what you
Okay,
just said.
okay.
Based on our
Okay.
conversation today that I talked to you guys
based on the
about.
conversation.
Yeah, based on
Yeah.
that.
But you know, like
Speed it up a little bit.
and then okay, so you know, there's bad food, bro. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, mom was a bad cook. No, I know Lucy and I discussed this earlier. Like, we ate the same thing almost every fucking night. It was either ramen noodles or some kind of bean and some tacos, beans and rice. Like, we couldn't afford fucking shit from the freaking meat market. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? There was fucking
yeah.
like 7 of us in that house, bro. And then dad left his bomb ass job to go fucking be a painter. I don't know what the fuck he did that for. I wanted to spend more time with you guys. I don't give a fuck, bro. Just fucking make the money, make it good. Damn. Anyways,
Jesus,
I just remember growing up too, and it was like, the more I grew up, the more me and my family, like mom and dad, butted heads.
Yeah.
Like, we butted heads a lot. And like Lucy said, I left early, bro. As soon as I was 18, I wasn't even graduated yet. I was gone.
Yeah.
I was living with a friend, and you know, she had graduated before, and we were really close. So she freaking was like, "Hey, come stay with me. As long as you got your job, you know, pay me for my you know, part of the phone bill. I'll get you a phone, pay for some of the rent. Boom, done, done." And that's how I started, you know,
Adulthood.
working that. Oh yeah, pretty much. I went to college. It was good. And then mom guilt tripped me coming home. Oh, que tengo estoy mala. You know, like,
That Mexican
bro,
guilt,
like,
bro.
I
That Mexican
pretty,
guilt.
pretty much, bro, pretty much. So I came home, never made it back to fucking Louisiana for college. So I got stuck being the adult again. So after a while, I just got fed up with it and just left, bro. I was like, I'm gonna join. And Lucy knows I tried to join the Air Force straight up, but they were giving me the recruiters were giving me the runaround, bro, hard. And Lucy was like, "Stop being a bitch. Join the Marine Corps." I said, I went in there. I was like, "Hey, I want to join." They were like, "When do you want to leave?" I was like, "As soon as possible." And that, dude, I
Month
went
later.
in. I
So-
went in on my 21st birthday, bro.
Was Lucy already in at that time?
No.
No?
He had like 2 more years or so, or 3 more years before he
I had
graduated.
a while, yeah.
Because I was 21. Lucy's 6 years younger. So you were like a sophomore or junior.
Damn, dog. I wasn't even in high school yet.
I swear you were, bro.
I was getting ready
And
to
it-
go into high school.
Okay. So that's probably what it was. Oh, that's right. Because by the time I finished my first enlistment, you were going in.
Yeah.
Roughly. Okay, that's right. But yeah, bro, like, they gave me the runaround on my 21st birthday. I went in and they were like, I was like, "I want to join." He goes, "All right, how old are you?" "Today's my birthday." "Oh shit, okay. When do you want to leave?" I said, "As soon as possible." 2 months later, I was gone, bro. April 21st, 2008.
Damn.
Hold
Damn.
the thought on enlistment, because that's one of my topics that I want to cover.
No. We'll keep it
Alright,
right there. We'll keep it right
alright.
there. But that was life pretty much before. You know, we moved a lot too. A lot, bro. That's one of the reasons why I fucking can't stand moving.
Not the
I can't stand
military?
it.
Not the military?
But that was easy though. You had what, all the gear, your uniforms, anything you can fit into your fucking sea bags or double bags or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
if you
saying?
weren't married, yeah,
It was-
it was easy.
Oh yeah. I wasn't married in the Marine Corps. I was single throughout the whole Marine Corps.
Smart man.
Mm.
Right.
Smart man. Oh.
But Miguel,
All right,
Yeah,
so
go ahead, bro.
All right, so I didn't tell you guys where I was from when I introduced myself. I am from a shitty town, shitty city called Paterson, New Jersey.
Oh, that's a shitty place.
It is a very shitty place. It's like top 5 worst places in the country. Don't quote me on statistics, but it's up there. Not a great place. My stepdad was a cop. He served for like 30 years and then retired, and then moved up to where I am now in like 2010. So I was still active duty, bouncing back and forth from wherever I was stationed to, back to Jersey up here. So I, naturally I came back when time permitted and allowed, and, all the cards were aligned for me to do so. But anyway, so yeah, come from a shitty place called Paterson, New Jersey. I have not looked back since returning. Yeah, we kind of talking childhood, right? So, like I told you guys, we grew up essentially I grew up in poverty. We didn't have everything, handed to us. My mom worked. She was a mom and a dad. She had 3 kids she was raising alone. We lived in a basement, like I told you guys, in my grandmother's house. We lived in a basement in my grandmother's house for years. And so, kind of what you were talking about with the, the women, the girls got the beds in the room. Same thing with me, right? I had 2 sisters. They had the room. They had bunk beds. And I had a corner next to the dining table. And that was my fucking childhood, man, for I don't know how many years. Not to say that, my mom didn't try or didn't do what she could. She did. She definitely tried to give me a good life. And, I'll never, fault her for it. But it wasn't, it could have been better, obviously. But, it is what it is, right, at this point. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I slept almost every night on a blanket on a like my 1980s tiles in the basement on a blanket, bro, for I don't know how many years, a long time, until I was in high school is when I finally had my own room. I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. Was the first time I had my own room, my own space. So after that place, after the basement, she did kind of work towards an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment with like 6 people. Same situation, bro. I had a corner in the dining room.
Damn,
Yo,
dude.
but I had a bed this time, so it was an upgrade. it was an upgrade. I had a TV. I had amenities at the time. I had a Dreamcast and then a GameCube. Like my mom put in work.
Yeah.
She was trying. It is what it is. But I had things growing up. That a lot of kids didn't have. But also had single mom. Doing everything. She was playing both roles. So. And I don't know if it was like that for you guys, but that's what it was, at least for me growing up, was mom playing both roles, and she was tough on me, bro. Like, my mom was fucking tough on me, man. And I don't know if it's because I reminded her of my dad or, I don't know, or the stressors, but my mom would. Yeah. And you could probably attest to this, Lucy. I'm not an easy person to deal with. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm very difficult. I will own it.
You are one of the most difficult people I know. That's not to say you're a bad person, because if you were a bad person, you wouldn't be here, right? But no, there's a lot to get through to get past that part of who you are.
Yeah. But it definitely made me into the man I am today. Kind of like you, Ephraim, at the age of 18, I didn't have money for a degree, for college. My parents, I didn't expect my parents to, foot that bill. So I did the next best thing. I joined the military, and it was a godsend. It changed my life in so many ways. It gave me the structure I didn't have. It gave me that, that father figure, that consistent father figure that I never had, growing up. It gave me all of that.
Yep.
Not to say that, my stepdad, I love the man. I speak to him almost every day. I see him almost every day. He's right down the road from me. He's a good man, but, we didn't have the best relationship growing up because of, I don't know if it's being a kid and going through those emotions and trying to figure things out. But, there were those days where you're not my dad, you can go fuck yourself, I didn't tell him that. But it was just that the butting heads, the friction, with that that other man in the house that I didn't respect at the time. And I was I was naive, I was young, I was dumb. So we didn't have a good relationship, and I think that stressed my mom out even more, you know, because it wasn't just me; it was my sisters as well, and that's a whole different dynamic, right? That's even harder to try to wrap your head around, you know, as a single mom trying to bring someone into the house, and you know, you have daughters, you know, people, you know, there's predators out there that will take advantage of that situation. So, you know, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
So,
No. I get it. I get
no,
the single mom
makes
thing
sense.
for sure.
Yeah, but my point is that being a single mom wasn't easy, and I didn't make it easier on my mom.
Right.
But again, I think I had, and I asked you guys a question earlier, you know, did you guys have that resentment growing up? And I did. I still do. I have a lot of resentment, you know, because of my
Oh
childhood.
yeah.
And, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
Yes.
my mom
That's a
today,
whole other podcast right there, bro.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
But, you know,
one.
my mom today is not the woman she was, you know, 20 years ago. She's not
Right.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
She's a different
Not to
woman.
go. Yeah, not to go into the deep end on that.
Yeah.
But I there to answer the question from earlier, I know I did, but to go into more detail on it, and is I absolutely 100% do. Um, from years of past to current, and that's a whole separate thing, because unfortunately, my perspective, my reality is my mother is still the same person
Yeah.
from 20 years ago,
Yeah.
25
Mhm.
years ago. But we'll touch into some of those topics as we go. Um, so to go back and give my perspective of life growing up, kind of how Ephraim was talking about, right? Um, California portion of it was good. You know, I remember rollerblading, being at the park all the time. I remember this time vividly. I was holding onto a bike on my rollerblades, and I fell, ate shit, gashed my arm, went back to grandma's, and got like the whole carbon, freaking, wow, hydrogen peroxide. Well, I don't even know where I was going, right? And burning from it, but then I also remember the trip to back to Texas, and that whole first year of Texas, and then spending the summer out in Mexico. And that summer was like peak childhood, right? You know, going down to the corner store and getting Coke, your chips, your like everything. Coming back and chasing goats, chasing chickens, and like being out there in Mexico doing fucking Mexican type shit, right?
Hell yeah.
And then all of a sudden, mom rolls up with this random dude, and it's like,
The
who the hell is
vato.
this guy? Yeah.
The vato, bro.
And it's like, okay, I don't know who you are, whatever. And then she's like there for like a week or something like that. Disappears back, like out, disappears. We end up back in the valley in Texas after that summer in Mexico. He comes down, a few visits and whatnot, and the next thing I know, by the beginning of summer, we're moving up to San Antonio. We moved up literally on my 7th birthday.
That was
Uh,
I
that was
do.
what,
Nope.
June 1st, July 1st? What
July
July.
1st.
what year? What year?
We're not going into that. And
Oh, I know
then
what year. I know what year.
yeah, I hope you know, asshole. And then a month and some change later, they're getting married. And then
Damn.
that's when things were good. I think that first year first year or two we were really spoiled. It felt like for the first
was
time
new.
That was
normal.
something new. That was something new for you though.
It was new and something normal. My dad wasn't in the picture. We have different dads.
Yeah.
And he wasn't back into the picture until my early teens when I moved back to California. And that's a whole other situation and topic. But things didn't start getting rough in my perspective, in my view, until after our youngest brother was born. And then something just switched. And that's when I started to feel like really, really got rough. You know, rough from poverty, of course. And adding another mouth to feed didn't
Yeah.
help that situation. My mom dealing with health issues, cancer, all kinds of different things. And at a certain point, it ended up being just myself and my younger brother at the house. And like my mom was completely checked out. She
Damn.
was doing her own thing, completely uninvolved. My stepdad was the one doing majority of the things, and reality is he was mostly focused on my younger brother. At that point, I was already in high school, working a job, doing everything. Like all my parents did at that time was provide me a roof over my head. I was feeding myself. I was taking care of my phone bill, my car insurance, my car note, clothes, everything to do. Was covered by myself since I was able to start working legally, right? After I graduated, immediately went off to boot camp. So my perspective on how life was growing up, I think Ephraim has his, valid, he's valid in his feelings and his reality, but at the same time, my perspective was a lot different. I think mine, unfortunately, has a little bit more of a darker view from it because that middle child syndrome, him, older sister, my younger brother, and I'm in the middle, and I'm just dealing with my own issues with that middle child syndrome, right? And then to talk about the things that my sisters were dealing with and the issues that my sisters were dealing with. My mom's, when she was present, the attention was at my sisters. And now as being adults, we talk to our sisters and they have a different perspective and a different reality. And you start to see and feel how warped and twisted everything is.
Yeah.
So for me, life growing up, it fucking sucked. I hated it. It caused a lot of resentment, a lot of disdain between my mom, my father, my stepdad. Freaking hated the man for years. But now as an adult, I have that ability to reflect and be like appreciative of this man, and have respect for him. I don't agree with him a lot. I don't agree with his perspective on the world and life, but I respect him for what he did.
You could appreciate that much, yeah.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So that's that on that. I'm not gonna go too much into detail.
So
obviously,
we all kind of, not to cut you off, but we all, from what I'm hearing, we all left the house at 18.
Oh yeah.
As soon as So.
Oh yeah. Lucy, you joined at 18. As soon as
I
before.
I swore in at 17, to leave at 18, but there's something that happened that caused me to leave technically after I turned 19. Because of timeline. I enlisted like a month before I turned 18. So I ended up leaving for boot camp a month after I turned 19. So it sounds like a 2-year gap, but it was just a 13-month, 12-month, depending on, So, because I didn't graduate high school until like a month before I turned 19.
Okay.
But speaking of high school.
Damn, bro, you started school late? Did you start? Okay.
Yeah. What kind of person were you in high school? And obviously, we're going to skip it early adulthood because that's going to cover a lot of the military conversation. But what were you like in high school?
A nerd.
What kind of person were you?
Goofy. But I also focused on my studies a lot. I really enjoyed math, hated English until we got to like poetry. Because we listen to hip hop. Hip hop's pretty much poetry.
You love them haikus, huh?
Yeah, them haikus. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I pretty much kept to myself. My friend group was pretty small. Lucy knew my friends, Cody and Josh. You know what I'm saying? And both those dudes joined also, but they were Air Force.
Yeah.
But they both joined. You see what I'm saying? Like, because San Antonio is definitely an Air Force town. But I mean, I was a big band nerd, bro. Talking like, I was out there always playing drums. I mean, I would, just because I didn't want to go home, I would stay after school until 5:30 every day just to play music, bro. Because music was like my escape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was my escape. So I would make up lies to mom and be like, "Yeah, I got drumline practice till 5:30. You can pick me up then." You know what I'm saying?
She wasn't the wiser, huh?
Yeah, but
she's gonna hear this, by the way.
I don't care. I don't care. It's long time ago. But like the coolest thing ever was my percussion instructor, Mr. Wheeler, Uncle Rob. You know what I'm talking about, Luce.
Yeah, I
Mr.
do.
Wheeler knew that we didn't come from money, knew that I couldn't afford lessons. He would say, "Hey, I have an open slot on this night. Can you be here at 5:30 and I'll teach you 5:30 to 6?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "All right." So every week I had a lesson with him, and that's what also made me better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't even know that.
Yeah, he freaking he was like a mentor when it came to music. But which was funny because when I got there, it was his first year, and everybody didn't like him because they had Mr. Kath, and that was the previous instructor, and he was like, "Oh, he's the guru, right?" And then all of a sudden, Mr. Wheeler came in, started writing badass shit, and they were like, "Oh, okay, he's pretty good." But yeah, that was me in high school pretty much, bro. I just stuck to myself, try to just get through it. Honestly, the food. Mom worked in the cafeteria, so I'll give her this. When I wanted some pizza, I got some pizza. You know?
This guy. Yeah, we had two completely different high school experiences, bro. But go.
All right, so I'll jump in now. So my high school experience, to say, it's a lot like today, honestly. My circle was tight. I didn't let a lot of people in. Again, I'm an abrasive individual. People either love me or hate me. And most of the times they hate me. I was never a cool kid. I never tried to fit into that circle, that crowd, because I thought, those people were all, in my mind, I thought they were all losers, right? So yeah, I had one good friend in high school. I still keep in touch with him to this day. We were poolies together on the buddy system. So yeah, we did that. He ended up being Motor T. He got out. Yeah, he got out after 4 years. I stayed in. And we kind of disconnected after that a little bit. We weren't the same, we just grew differently. But he was like my one good friend. And then, I had a couple girlfriends here and there in high school too. I think serious relationships in high school. But outside of that, man, I kept to myself, man. I didn't really get involved with people. I stayed out of trouble. I kept my nose clean. I was home on time. I didn't stay out when the lights went out, when the street lights came on.
Yep, I remember that.
I was fucking home, man. I was again. I had a room at the time, so I appreciated that space, that solitude that I had, being in my own confined, safe place. That was big for me, man. I didn't have that at any other time in my life until high school. So I kept to myself, man.
That became your fortress, man.
Yeah. And I do that to this day. I am the same way, dude. I keep a lot of people out of my circle, man. Like, people want to hang out and, like, yeah, all right, maybe.
This explains so much, bro. So much. I can't explain to you how much this explains. I've known you for going on damn near almost 13 years, and like still learning more about
yeah,
you,
man.
and it explains a lot.
It pisses my family off, dude. Like, I don't want to fucking deal with you people today. So I'm just gonna stay here right here. Yeah, that's my life in high school in a nutshell, man. I kept to myself, man, and I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
No, I respect it. I think I'm leaning that direction now as I get older.
Yeah.
Even talking about his high school, and again, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, we're brothers. There's a lot of similarities and parallels, but also a lot of variation.
Yeah.
Between
Oh
it.
yeah.
For me, high school, I was definitely that kid that didn't care. I think I cared less in high school than I do now.
Oh, absolutely. I get that. Yeah.
I was involved in a lot. I was involved in like clubs and band, and I worked for like basically full time for as much as a high school student can do. I was in a relationship with someone throughout majority of my high school career, and that was off and on, and that should have been red flag after red flag.
Was that your
Right.
first wife?
A red flag after red flag.
I wish I had a flag right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the NFL when anyone touches Patrick Mahomes, flag.
Oh my
Um,
God.
But during all those breaks, I was a womanizer. It was like, oh, we're on a break. Okay, I'm gonna go over here, and then come back. Oh, we're on a break. I'm gonna go over here. So I
Pacino.
did everything. Yes. I did everything to not be home though. So
Yeah.
I was in like Peace Club because of a girl. I was in Spanish Club because of a girl. I did criminal justice stuff. I got certified as a corrections officer because of the law enforcement course that I did. I was working. I was in band, so I was like doing all these other things to like just
Not be
not
home.
be home.
I get that.
Yep.
Whereas now it's like the only time I leave my house aside from work is to go ride my motorcycles. And if I'm not riding my motorcycles, I'm home.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different thing where now the only reason why I'm leaving home is because I'm doing my hobby, my passion.
Yeah. I get
So
that. I get that.
the high school me, I look back on it, and I'm in therapy. We've talked about it. You guys know.
Yeah.
I reflect and I'm like, man, if I could just go back to me as a high school, I would just punch myself in the mouth, bro. This dude was cocky as cocky could be, didn't care about anything. Like I thought I could rule the world, bro.
Yeah.
He had that old Marine Corps spirit, you know what I'm saying? Cockiness.
Oh man, I was the most moto dude ever. Like when I became a poolee, I was even cockier. Like I was.
Can't
That's a
touch
whole
me.
other
Can't
thing.
touch me.
Yeah. So which segues into the next thing, right? Is you alluded to it earlier, Miguel. Ethan touched on it. I touched on it. Like, but what was that decision, that final, like what made you decide like this is why I'm joining?
Like I said, man, I had nothing going for me. I wasn't, and school was not, that wasn't in my set of options. I hated school. I was not a good student when I was in high school. I barely passed. I was like a C student. I got some D's, here and there. Like I just didn't care. I was lazy. I didn't apply myself, and I knew that I wasn't going to get a scholarship, and mom and dad weren't going to pay for college. So I was like, you know what? This will pay for college, maybe, if I decide to do it. Which I eventually did do, and I did great in it because I knew I was gonna have to pay for it if I failed. But yeah, it was that not really having not having anything else to kind of bank on. It's why I did it. If you look at where I'm from, I alluded to that too. It's a shitty place, and a lot of those people, some of them have done really great things.
Yeah.
But a lot of those kids that I grew up with, they're not here today. And that's the reality of it all, So yeah, I joined the military, man. And I needed the structure anyway. I wanted to, be better than I wanted to be better than what I was, and I wanted to stand for something because I had never stood for anything up until that point. You know what I mean? I had nothing going for me, man. And I remember going through boot camp, getting the EGA in my palm, and crying like a little bitch about it, because I felt like up until that point, I had never done anything with my life, and up until that point, I felt like, yeah, I did something right now, right here, and my life is gonna mean something. It was right at that point, man, when I was standing with my feet at fucking 45 degrees with my left hand out, getting my EGA.
Blisters on your feet.
Bro,
Sore back.
Listen, we're not even talking about the crucible, bro. That was the first time I fell asleep standing, man. We're not even gonna touch on that. But yeah.
Back, man.
Yeah, man. It was the first time that I separated myself from from what my legacy was, my upbringing was. It was, this is me. And again, at 18, as soon as I signed up at 17, as soon as I turned 18, the only thing I asked for, because I was dating a girl at the time, was I said, hey, Sergeant Irvin, that was my recruiter. I just want my summer, man. You know, I got this girl, you know, we just want to spend time while we can. He was like, I got you, man. I got you. And that was it. I asked for a fucking summer. I asked for 2 months of me before I sacrificed my life, essentially.
Hell
man.
yeah.
And, you know, a lot of recruiters will tell you that's bullshit. You might as well get through with it now. But anyway, I asked for that, and he gave it to me, man. May he rest in peace. He passed away a couple months ago, but
Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
he gave me my summer, and you know what? It made something out of me that a lot of people can't say. They can't say that they did what what we did.
No.
That's true. I think for me, Lucy knows the restaurant. I was working at Taco Cabana. And
Terrible restaurant. Terrible Tex-Mex.
yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, and it's pretty bad. But it was one of the only restaurants around at the time that would also serve margaritas and shit. So you were getting drink on while you're eating these tacos.
Getting
you know
litty.
what I'm saying? Yeah. But I was working there. I was chilling. There was rumors that I was going to become shift manager, get paid more. Slowly working my way up. Why not? And then all of a sudden, I didn't get it. I fucking was so pissed, dude. So pissed. I started not showing up to work. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just like all bummed out and shit. So I was like, man. And then stuff at home, it felt like it was the same old shit.
Yeah.
Same old shit. Every time I came home, someone was bitching about something. I was just over it all, dude. I was over it. I did not want to be home. I did not want to be at work. I couldn't figure out how to get back into school. I didn't know how to transfer. I don't even know if I had enough credits to transfer. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I felt like I was just spiraling into nothing. And then, like, some of those people that have worked at that restaurant, like my boss, Lisa, she was a badass. But she had been there for years. And she wasn't even the general manager. You see what I'm saying? Like, she was just a restaurant manager.
Just playing the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And it was just, and she was a sweetheart, dude. She ran, her and I together, we were badasses in that restaurant. She taught me everything. But it's just like, if it took her that long to get in that position, what the fuck am I supposed to do at a restaurant, bro? That's not where I was supposed to be.
Hustle.
Yeah.
At least that's what they tell you, right? They tell you hustle, work, break your back,
work,
and then one day you'll get there.
For what? For what? $13 an hour? And that was a lot back then.
Yeah.
That's
you know what I'm saying? But for $13 an hour, bro? Nah. So finally, that's when Lucy was like, well, I thought you were going to, join the Air Force or something or whatever. He goes, but join the Marine Corps. Stop being a little bitch.
So he let that spark.
I was a bully, bro. I was a bully.
Bro, he was a bully, bro.
No.
But for real though, Lucy was the type of person, okay, that had Marine Corps posters. You remember those Marine Corps posters that said Marines? And then you see like them like battle buddying across.
Was it the
fire team
the,
rushing?
The poster of the lieutenant fighting the dragon?
Yes, that's Lucy.
The few.
Lucy
the proud,
had that shit in the room.
The Marines.
But I mean, we've always wanted to do something, bro, and that was my out. And like I said, I tried Air Force, and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, you need this and you need that," and like gave me this fucking runaround. Marine Corps, they were like, "So when do you want to leave? What's the earliest you can get me out of here? How much time do you need to get your affairs in order?"
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the question.
Like,
yep.
Boom, 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 bro. Like that was it. So I was just ready to go, man. I was over it. I didn't want to slip back into feeling like I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? I was done. I was over it. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do nothing. Half my fucking paycheck was going to mom because she needed help. I don't know if she fucking really needed help.
Topic for a different day.
I told you.
I know,
That's a
but
deep
you
segue.
see but again, I didn't want to fucking feel like that anymore. Busting my ass to make money for me to survive, and now I gotta support the fucking rest of the family because she wants to have issues with dad. Nah, bro, I was over that shit. I was done. And then my sisters weren't working. Lucy was working, but well, I don't think he was old enough to work yet.
I was
Maggie
doing
was,
little
yeah. Our youngest
under
sister
the
was still too
table.
young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm the oldest, so it's like I got stuck doing that shit again, and I didn't want to do it. So I said,
I
"Fuck it,"
get
and
it.
left.
I get it, man.
And don't get me wrong, I felt bad because, and Lucy don't really know this. He was my little chicle, bro. You know what that means? He was like my little gum,
Gum?
bro. He stuck to me like gum on my fucking shoe all the time. When I say this motherfucker followed me everywhere, he followed me everywhere.
Yeah.
We were
That was
we were super close for the most part. Like him and Edward are close, like the two younger brothers. That's how him and I were close until I fucking left.
Damn.
And I felt bad because it was like, fuck, now I just left him there with all that shit. Same thing with my sister, but my sister, like he was saying, my sister got all the fucking attention. The girls always got the attention. Of course, you know that. Girls got all the attention.
They got the love.
And then they wonder why we're all fucked up.
But we'll table the rest of that.
Yeah.
There's some
But
trauma. There's
yes,
some trauma.
but
There's
right
some
that's
there.
trauma,
why-
man.
That's why. That's why I
Obviously,
left.
obviously.
And you know what though? Best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made.
Amen. Amen.
Leaving all that shit behind, dude.
Fuck. Yo, this dude, I felt it. I felt it. Not the anger,
On you, bro.
not the anger, but the anguish, bro. The fucking anguish.
Yes, bro. Fuck.
Oh man. Well, mine was completely different than your guys'. Shit.
He always wanted to be one. He always wanted to be
I did. I knew. So I didn't know the Marine Corps at first. For me, at first, it was going to be the Army.
I do remember that.
And the reason why I know,
Huh?
but here's why, right? First of all, I didn't even know about the Marine Corps at the time. I'm actually named after our deceased uncle, who was in the Army. So
Okay.
growing up, hearing all the stories, seeing all the pictures, and everything about him was like, oh, I need to live up to that expectation. I need to be like him. If I want people to be proud of me, I need to follow in the footsteps and uphold that name and honor the name. So I like brainwashed myself at a very young age, as far back as I can remember, like 5-6 years old, bro. I'm
Damn.
like, I'm gonna join the army. I'm gonna be in the army. And then right around the age of like 12, 13, I learned of this thing called the Marine Corps. And instantly I was like, no,
That's what I want.
that's it. Right there. If I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
do anything, I'm gonna be my own person. I still want to serve my country. I still want to do all those fine dandy things.
Little
But
did
I
you
want
know.
to do this for me.
Little
Yeah.
did you know.
It was the dragon, bro. He wanted to fight a fucking dragon with a fucking flame sword.
But it
With a
was like,
sword.
like you hear, the Marines, there's the few, the proud, the toughest, the hardest, the blah, 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 first to fight, blah, 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 right?
The best
I'm
uniforms.
like, no, if I'm going to do
Hell
something,
yeah.
I'm going to do the hardest thing. 'Cause that was my mentality back in the days. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to be the most badass motherfucker there is, blah, 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 blah. So immediately switched. It was like, no, Marine Corps, all the way through. I remember like talking to the recruiter in high school at like 15. No, come back at 17. 16. No, come back at 17. All right, I'm 17. Oh, well, now we need your parents' permission, and you got to wait till the end of your junior year. Okay. All right, end of junior year. Here's my parents' permission. Like that was me. So I knew from day one
That's what you wanted to do.
that's what I wanted to do. Now the benefits, everything like that, were all just a perk. To me, none of that mattered. It was just about serving my country, making a name for myself, doing something for myself. And I viewed everything else of it as a benefit. to get away from here, get away.
Okay, so
from
there's some
family.
parallels. There's some parallels. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there were some parallels in that, but that wasn't the motivating factor. They were just a bonus to my desire to serve. Because at that point, dealing with all those things is like it really solidified
Yeah,
my
your
desire.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because at first it was like, okay, let me go to school and then commission.
Right.
But then
Right.
it's like, fuck, I can't afford that. Like, who's gonna pay for
Oh,
that?
so you wanted to go officer route?
I did.
I didn't know that.
And I even looked at like MECEP and everything while I was when I was in Bahrain. And I'm like, I never cared about school. So in high school, I skipped I don't know how many classes. I showed up late. I like left in the middle of school, never came back, or I left early, whatever. Like I don't know how I
Yeah.
graduated with the grades I did, bro, because I like never showed up. I never tried. I never did homework. I passed.
So this
solely
is
on
why you were
quizzes.
in. This is why you were in.
What do you mean?
Your grades?
In high school.
Oh, in high school. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So like college wasn't an option. And like I said, I don't know how I passed with the grades I did because I completely just passed high school on quizzes and tests. And I still graduated like a 3.25 GPA. I don't even know how.
That's not terrible, bro.
It's not. It's not.
It's
I don't-
easy, bro. In the state
I
of
don't know
Texas,
how.
it's easy to do that shit.
But now, right now, I have my bachelor's degree in accounting. Almost done with my MBA. I'm in my last few classes. And if you would ask me this shit 15 years ago, I'm like, college, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So all these, but anyways, all those things of like what was happening at home, not being able to pay for college. I was working at McDonald's for like 30 hours a week in high school, getting paid like $7.50 an hour.
Oh my gosh, they pay.
Yo,
us
do you
terrible.
remember those fucking $200 paychecks? Because I worked at Burger King, bro.
Bro,
After 2
and
weeks,
eventually I was making $8.20 an hour. So those paychecks went from like $250 to like $375. You know, a big. But that's when gas was like $1.50.
Hell yeah, $1.95. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, I was also paying for my car, paying for my phone bill, paying for my insurance.
you were
Like,
independent.
I was already independent, and all of it was just like it just solidified what I already knew.
Yeah.
So that's why, for me, I did the whole enlistment thing, raised right hand, blah blah blah, right? But pivoting from that high school to the why, Efern, you want to start us with your MOS or
Yeah.
MOSs?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
that mean,
I have
you
way
know?
too many. MOS is military occupational specialty. Mine was Highway. Mine was 3521, which is a motor team mechanic, motor transport mechanic. So I got to work on Humvees, diesel engines, stuff like that. So the school was about 3 months long on the East Coast. I think it was it Camp Johnson?
It was Cam Johnson.
It was Camp Johnson. Yep. Miguel, your video's gone, homie.
I have to step away. Just keep going.
Oh, probably. But yeah, so Camp Johnson, was there for about 3.5, 4 months, just because there was a waiting period. Graduated there, got stationed at Camp Pendleton. Was stationed there for about 4 years. I was sorry. Let me back it up. I was with 3rd Battalion in the 43 area. I think is what it is.
Around Pendleton, bro.
I think it was 3rd Battalion in the 43 area, and I wasn't in a so the way maintenance works is there's 5 echelons of maintenance. Your first echelon is with like the drivers, your preventative maintenance. They they check your tire pressure, check the oil, stuff like that. Your basic motor, like vehicle maintenance. And then the second one is like, okay, now we're replacing starters, we're replacing batteries, we're
I can speak to
preventative
this.
maintenance with gear hubs and stuff like that, right? And then your third echelon is like, okay, we're going to remove this engine and go get a replacement, take it out. We're going to remove this transmission.
Third
There's fuel
echelon
pump.
was getting the engine repaired at a different facility.
Fourth echelon.
Fifth was a full replacement.
Yeah, fifth
was
was
depot
like
level.
contractor.
Depot level, yeah.
Yeah, contractor.
Your boss.
Usually was Georgia.
So say that again then, because I feel like you said that wrong.
Okay, so third echelon was because I was in a third echelon shop in Camp Pendleton. So we removed engines, we replaced fuel injectors,
Yeah, maintenance battalions.
yeah, maintenance
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were,
But you
so
did
this,
so you did the repairs yourself, right?
Yeah, he was at maintenance battalion.
You did the
Yeah.
repairs. You didn't send the engine
Yeah.
off to do repairs.
no. We would go get a replacement engine, but we would replace the engine. We would replace the engine, not
I hear
fix
you.
the whole engine full. I know what I'm talking about. Fool.
But third echelon is engine. You could repair the engine at third echelon. That's why I was confused.
if it's something simple, but like to tear the engine, like break it all the way down and rebuild it, that's fourth echelon.
Like fuel rails and things like that, you were able to do, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's third echelon.
brakes, shit like that. Well, this motherfucker, like, man, I was fucking in it, bro. You about to?
Anyways.
Anyways,
It's my charm. It's my charm.
hey, bro, we need to cut him out of the circle. All right.
Shot me out.
Nah, but so 3521, I did that for about 4 years. Deployed with that on a MEU, which is a Marine Expeditionary Unit, which was our battalion, our logistics battalion attached with an infantry battalion, then attached with the Navy, and we floated. So it was like a joint operation. And then we floated out to the West Pacific.
It was a booze cruise.
It was a booze cruise, bro. By the way, just so
Oh,
you know, Lucy got to be on that booze cruise before he even joined the Marine Corps as a Tiger. They called it the Tiger Cruise.
The fuck is a tiger?
And he
Oh,
got
yeah.
he flew into Hawaii, and then from Hawaii he floated back with us to San Diego.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah. Because so they were actually decommissioning the USS Dubuque at the end of that
Mhm.
view. So what they did is they allowed
Why didn't I know this?
family to come out for a Tiger cruise, which was that return home from after they stopped in Hawaii back to Pendleton. So I was able to fly out to Hawaii like the night before, and then the next day. hop
That's
on the
dope,
ship,
man. That's
yep,
dope.
Back with them. So that also gave me
An idea.
like, the idea of what it was like, and then realized how shitty grunts got treated, and was like, yeah, I don't want to be a grunt.
bro, because you gotta remember
Anyways.
this is a super confined space, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Anyways,
Call it but yes. So 3521 for my first 4 years deployed with that. I was gonna do another round of that Westpac, but what happened is, and I know we discussed this on the last freaking one, right? On the take one, failed one. But the boat space is filled up, and for people that don't know what a boat space is, it's just a spot basically for the MOSs, for the MOS fields. And my MOS filled up really quickly. It was a fast filling MOS. So all the spaces for that re-enlistment year were taken. It was gone. So I had to choose something else. Well, this goes back to high school when I was a band nerd. I could still play. I just haven't touched an instrument really in like, I don't know, 20, 21. And I'm already, 26 by this point. So I went in, did my audition. They were like, damn, you can still play. So then I did OJT, which is on the job training, for a few months. Or as Miguel would like to say it, I got my summer, right? I got my
Hey, man.
I got my summer with the band.
That was my
and then
one ask.
Hell yeah. And then they sent me to the East Coast, did my school there. Some shit went down. We'll wait for another episode to discuss that. And I ended up not getting to be a part of the band after that. So then they were like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I could do admin. And they sent me to go do admin, which is, 0111 or some shit like that? Yeah. So I went and did admin until I got out, and I was working at the intelligence school there. Did that for the last like 2.5 years.
You said intelligence school?
Yeah, he was at Intel School in Virginia.
Yeah, Damneck.
I didn't know
Virginia
that.
Beach. Yeah.
My ex-wife was Intel, bro. Go ahead.
Crazy
Continue.
part
Sorry.
is one of the guys that actually got stationed in I think Lucy knows him. My buddy Tim Harshfield. He was stationed. He got stationed over there. We became real good friends in California. And I left over here with the schoolhouse. And then when all that stuff went down, and I was doing admin, he actually left the band because he didn't like the way it was formatted. Which we'll get to that on another day too. He came to the counterintelligence school because the counterintelligence school is there too. So it was cool to see like my old friend, you know what I'm saying, come back. But I'm like staff
Yeah,
technically, even though I'm a Lance Corporal, I'm staff. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many instances where you run into people in the Marine Corps, which just like reminds you how small it really is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because
The
I
real
ran-
one percenters, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually ran into that friend in Afghanistan.
Dude, for
And
real.
And then there's another instance when Ephraim was at the School of Music where he ran into someone who I went to high school with. And then he ran into someone that I went to boot camp with. And it's just small ass Marine Corps. And I ran into one of my drill instructors in Afghanistan.
I think you told me
But
that
anyways,
story. Yeah.
anyway, I
But yeah,
digressed from that, but
So I did admin and I was doing, creating orders for all the students that were leaving. The staff sergeant, like staff NCOs would come in and officers would come in also for their courses, and I would do their DTS paperwork to make sure because they stayed at hotels or the barracks if we had room. But for the most part, it was like hotels, so they'd have to use their government credit card, and then we'd have to like send it to dispersing. They'd pay it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole bit. So I dealt with pay, dude. Dispersing is horrible.
Yo, let me just chime in on this real quick, bro. So, as you guys know, I was married to an Intel Marine. We got divorced, separated, the whole nine. Bro, she separates from the Marine Corps. I'm still in. I get stationed in California, and like a year after she gets out, I am the senior enlisted individual, and I claimed the kids were on my information.
Right.
So she double dipped, bro. And they hem me up for. I'm like, what do you mean?
you got audited.
Bro, I got audited. I had to pay back like $7 or $8 grand.
And don't tell me they wanted it all up front.
They took it all up front, motherfucker. All up front. I'm like, yo, I got bills to pay, dude. Like, this ain't gonna work.
Dog, I hate that
That
shit
was-
about the military so much.
That was the one thing
Yeah.
that the sergeant that taught me to work with dispersing was like, look, you got to handle it like it's your own money first off. Like if it was your paycheck,
Yeah.
when the Marines come in asking for help. But when like
But
they
pause.
owe that much money,
But
you
pause.
should be.
I didn't owe that money, bro. And
That's what I'm saying. though.
and I had to pay it.
That's what I'm getting at. When people owed money like that, or Marines owed money like that, she'd be like, you need to get with this person and be like, you cannot take
I hate this person, bro.
that much money from the Marines. You can either take
DTS
half,
still owes me for
a
my last
quarter,
move.
something. Oh, I believe
We're
it.
gonna get that.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
believe it.
But anyways,
Yeah.
go ahead
yeah.
and take it
So-
away, Miguel. He's taking
Yeah.
too long.
Ah.
He's been deep
Yeah,
diving all
bro.
night.
And he gave me shit that first stream. So yeah. All right. So I joined back in 06. I was an 1142. Our name has changed so many times now. Beast. It was Beast. Was the basic electrical engineer equipment systems technician. That was the acronym. I might have mixed up the E's. But that's changed. So they combined eventually 1142s and 1161s. So now they're 1163s, I think. That happened like a year or 2 years ago. But anyway, so I joined in 06. I did that. My first duty station was at 9th ESB, which was a first and second echelon maintenance battalion. I am very versed. You can ask Lucy. I am very versed in the maintenance aspect of the Marine Corps. I did it very well. So, and that's how I met Lucy, by the way.
And I've swapped many engines,
Not at
and
9th
many
ESB.
transmissions. All right.
So I did that. I joined in 06. My first deployment to Iraq was in 08. I was there. No, I joined in 06. I went to Okinawa, Japan in '07, 9th ESB, first duty station. I was there from '07 to '09. Then I went to a 3rd Echelon Maintenance Battalion, EMC, Camp Foster, where we would work on engines and pull them out and swap them if needed at a 3rd Echelon Maintenance Battalion. And anyway,
You can see where he's typical.
so I did that from '09 to when did I leave? I left the island right before 2012. So like 2011 or so, I left. Was on the brink of getting divorced the first time. Anyway, we won't go into that either. That's for a different day. But so I get back to the States. I end up getting assigned to 2nd CEB, 2nd Combat Engineer Battalion. That's where I met Lucy. So I joined in 2011 or 12 time frame, and I did that for 4 or 5 years. And again, that's where I met Lucy. He was in the logistics realm of things, and I dealt with maintenance. So I was in charge of the maintenance side of the house, and then you had operations that did, they planned operations, training operations and things like that, because we didn't really do shit initially. But yeah, so I did that, and then in 2016, I want to say, I got orders to, after I got divorced, I mysteriously got orders to California. I got divorced June 1st, 2016. I had orders the next day. So if you guys know anything, about the military, or those that may be the 1 or 2 people that are listening, right? If you are married to another military person, you can't be stationed outside of a 60-mile radius from that individual. So my monitor got wind of it after he was going to give me orders somewhere else. I think I was looking at like Cherry Point is where he was going to give me orders.
Oh, damn.
Bro, and I talked to this guy like 2 weeks prior. Bro, the day after my divorce, I got a call from the company gunny. He's like, hey, or I think he might have been in the office. Hey, I think I might have screwed you over. Yeah, I talked to your monitor, and yeah, I think you have orders somewhere. I'm like, yeah, that's great. So I ended up losing custody and all that. I didn't deny orders. I got sent to California. And I did that for like 3 or 4 years. Ended up getting out of the military, out of the Marine Corps in 2020. So January 19th, I think was the day. 2020 was my last day, with PTAD and TAD and everything they give you when you separate, which was like 40 days. So it was the end of January. I separated, and I was at San Diego, the MCRD, MCRD San Diego. Dude, that was a dream duty station. It was like not the epitome of a duty station or what it should be, but I was like on my own fucking agenda. I did what I wanted, man.
Did you say epitome?
I did.
Epitome?
Epitome. I'm drinking. All right, don't be a smartass. Listen, I ate crayons for a living. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I remember. I remember visiting you out there, and while you hated your actual,
I hated the
unit.
I did. So kind of back to what we talked about the last stream. So I tore my tricep in a motorcycle accident. We're in that thing. And, like within a month. So I didn't know I had a torn tricep, first of all, because naval medicine is so fucking great. Right? I had a nurse practitioner, some fucking big meathead. Like, dude, he's like, oh, no, it's just swelling. You'll be good. It's just swelling. It's water building up. I had and I'll kind of show you the scar. So I had a lump up here where my median tendon shot up. And then my whole arm was like 3 or 4 sizes bigger than what it was. It was purple. And they're like, "Ah, you're good, man. Just change your socks, drink some water, have a Motrin or two, and
Thanks, Motrin.
yeah, just call it a day." And I'm like, "This really." So they tried to get me through physical therapy, occupational therapy, and I'm like, "I can't do this. It hurts so bad." But anyway, in between all this, my fucking command decides to make me the fucking motorcycle safety guy. Like as a fucking, I don't know if it was a punishment or you experienced this. You should fucking teach people how to ride safe. Mind you, I was going like 20 miles an hour on a double S bend and I hit gravel. Like there's nothing I could have done. Anyway, so I get this fucking collateral duty that I fucking hated, right? So anyway, I get this duty, then come to find out like a couple months later, a year later actually, it took a whole year for them to do an MRI on me. And I'm already on my first limb due at this point. So I'm into my second limb due when they realize I have a torn tricep and they do the repair, right? So first limb due, 6 months, second limb due, I was 4 months in, I think, at the time. So that happens, and then they realize I have a torn tricep. They get the MRI, yada, yada, yada. I see a specialist. They do the repair, but I'm already outside of that second limb due. They won't do a third. So that's why I was medically retired, was because of that. So I have a bad taste in my mouth because of the Marine Corps. After the fact that, when I should have denied orders, I didn't because I thought I was doing what the Marine Corps needed me to do. And, being fucking gung-ho, Semper Fi.
Yep.
And I should have for later.
Yeah, but I should have just denied orders and kept custody of my kids, but I didn't. And I didn't, anyway, because that shit bothers me so much, which is why I had a bad taste in my mouth for that duty station.
Yeah, that's a topic to be discussed in the schedule.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't when you explained it to me the first time of why you got medically retired, I didn't understand the process at the time. But
the limb due process is and I think Trump had passed something along that time frame where you couldn't get put on a third limb due. And if you know anything about torn triceps or any type of tendon repair, it takes a long time. And this type of tear is so unique, and it's not common. Tricep tendons, whichever of the three, they normally don't tear. So the recovery for a tendon repair is 3 years at a minimum. At the time, it's 3 years. So I'm already 2 years too late. And then I get the surgery. So the guy, what do you do? Well, sorry, you can pack your bags. We can't allow you to stay in. So I initially tried. I put in a letter. I tried to get an extension and a third limb due. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done fighting the man. I'm done trying to, get my leg in and stay in. I was done. And I don't know, Lucy, if I told you about the time, kind of back to, what we were talking about. So I'm on limb due. I'm on medication, right? Recovering. And my sergeant major puts me on duty. His dude puts me on duty, right? And I'm like, I can't be on duty. I cannot be on duty. Sorry, I can't be on duty. No, well, you're going to be on duty. Nothing. I'm like, okay, you got it. Dude, the next day, it was a weekend duty. I go to the, the Balboa on duty with my weapon. I made a scene, bro. I made a scene because you're not supposed to bring a weapon into a hospital.
Yeah.
So I drove the duty vehicle to the hospital and I explained everything. And then, I said, hey, I'm on duty. This is the situation. I'm in pain. My command wants me to stay on duty, yada, yada, yada. I explain everything as it's fresh. So they take me back in after a couple hours. And I called the OOD at the time and say, hey, it was a gunny or I don't remember who it was. It was someone above me. I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Like, okay, you're good. So I got the green light from the staff NCO or OIC, whoever it was above me on duty. So I get fucking sent to the back and the doctor's like, you can't have a weapon back here. I'm like, well, I explained. I'm like, you can take it. I don't want it. You take it. You take it. Take the fucking weapon. It was a Beretta M9. I said, take the weapon. They took the weapon. PMO got called. So they took the weapon, like it was a fucking big deal, dude. But yo, I shouldn't have been on duty. And I was just trying to explain my side. And I was hurting.
Yeah.
I was in pain. And I was on medication that affected my nerves. Gabapentin, look it up. That's what I was on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they still kept me on duty. I'm like, all right. So the next day, the sergeant major calls me into his office because he got wind of everything. He got a report. So I'm standing tall in front of the sergeant major. And he's just calling me a fucking piece of shit. I'm like, well, sergeant major, not for nothing. I told you that I can't stand duty because I'm on this medication. My arm swells up. I'm taking nerve medication. I don't know what you want me to do. And it puts me to sleep on top of making me fat. What the fuck do you want from me? What the fuck do you want? I'm trying here, man. So, bro, after that, they never put me on duty again. And I didn't get separated for like another 8 months after that. Like, it took a long time to get separated.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's my story. Sticking it because, Lucy, you know how I am. I'm very
I know.
abrasive, and I make points.
If there's a point to be made, it's it. Yeah.
That's wild, dude. That's wild.
Bro,
I never knew that. I never knew that.
I'll just do a quick wave top for myself.
sorry.
Both of you guys just diving straight on deep into it. 0411, it changed its names a couple times. It was Marine Corps Integrated Maintenance Management, MIMS.
Minfantry. That's it.
Infantry.
Minfantry.
And then it changed to Maintenance Management. So my job was to ensure that all the technical manuals and policies and paper trails and everything maintenance-wise was being followed correctly for audit purposes. And
How many
other
CGRIs
shit.
did you do?
Two CGRIs.
Did you do one with me?
Gizmo, yes. However,
Fucking
I only did my job actually maybe like 2.5, at most 3 years out of the 8.5 that I was in. With the first unit, second CEB.
You
And
got
then from there,
pulled from CEB. You got pulled from utilities to the other side of the second CB,
Yeah.
right? I forgot about
I
that.
did.
I forgot about that.
During deployment, I was the only maintenance manager for the entire deployment, reporting, as a good old Lance Corporal and a staff billet, getting hoed every fucking day by Chief Warrant Officer 3.
Hell yeah,
telling me
brother.
telling me how fucked up I am and I don't know shit about my job. And then
Which warrant officer was it?
Judetta,
Oh, I hate that guy.
I'll drop his fucking name. I don't
I
care.
hate that
That
guy.
piece of shit, dude. That piece of shit, bro. I remember one day, dude, in the middle, one morning, he called me into the office and just starts laying into me, dude, telling me, like, questioning me. And I was like, no, sir, I sent the correct reports to Master Guns. I double checked everything. Whatever he just sent you is wrong. And he just like telling me, like, you're a piece of shit. You're stupid. You don't know your job. You've only been in, at the time, I'd only been in for like 2 years. You've only been in 2 years. Master Guns has been doing this for 20 plus years. And you're telling me that he fucking doesn't know what he's doing? And I was like, yes, sir. And he's just like,
Straight out of my playbook, man.
I'm like, yes, sir. No. What do you want from me, dude? And he just keeps going, like, laying into me, bro. And I'm taking it. Because what are you gonna do? You can't do shit. Maybe I shouldn't be the only fucking one here with this goddamn job, right?
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck it. So I didn't have really anything else to do for the day, so I went to the gym. Spent like 2 hours in the gym because I was just fucking pissed off.
Damn right.
And come back in, and then he like calls me and he's like, oh, so turns out Master Guns was wrong. He sent the wrong information and you were right. And I was like, aye, sir. He's like, I just like yelling at you. Aye, sir.
Yo,
Wow.
if you know
He's
anything
a
about this guy, bro, and how he looks, like
He's a piece of shit, bro. He's
You have a bald head?
he did. He shaved it. Not
Everybody
balding.
that has a bald
Not-
head, though,
But he
No,
wasn't
but
balding.
usually a
He
dick.
picked it.
He wasn't balding though. He just shaved his fucking head.
That's even
and
worse,
All I
bro.
got, bro, all I got out of that was a fucking CERCOM, certificate of accommodation, for any of you guys that don't know, which means shit. And then we get back months later after deployment, and we are in a battalion formation. I don't know if you remember it. Battalion formation, and this motherfucker, bro.
You don't you don't shit where you eat. that one.
No, that was Osborne. Yeah. That formation. But this motherfucker, bro, gets a Navy comm.
Oh, I remember.
And you know what's being read in that Navy comm warrant?
Your achievements.
All the work I did.
Damn, dude.
Dude, tell me how someone 8+ years never got a NAM.
I never got one. I've been written up. So going off track here a little bit, but you remember the CGI we did, right? When we that Master Guns was like, he was like, Sergeant Valito, you know a lot. How long have you been in? Because you were next to me, right? When I was answering the questions. And this motherfucker was like, he was like dumbfounded that I had all the answers. Because I had been doing this like my whole career. I was in the maintenance, the administrative side of maintenance. And I had all. I'm like, no. This is the answer.
And you and I worked like this.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was my job to make sure that shit was the way it was.
I got a CERCOM for that too.
Oh my god.
All right, so I have like 3 CERCOMs,
so
7 LOAs, 7 letters of appreciation, and like 2 or 3 meritorious masks. Not a single fucking NAM, bro.
I accidentally got a meritorious achievement medal.
God.
When I was in Iraq, and I told them, this is wrong. Please correct it. That's how. I don't know if you saw that video, Lucy, where I commented that meritorious achievement goes hard. Yeah. That's why I know what it is.
So I did that for my first enlistment. After that, I went to Marine Corps Forces Central Command, MARFOR Cent or CENTCOM, Bahrain, where again didn't do my fucking job because I barely did my job with CEB.
You were like a driver, weren't you? You did like driving. I thought you told me.
No, I did a lot of it, but that wasn't
for the CG.
Everything. It was partially for the CG, and then a lot of majors, lieutenant colonels, and other generals that would come in. But I was responsible for personnel equipment coming out of the AO, so having to deal with a lot of foreign nationals, the Bahraini Defense Force, and one of the things actually is I was working with the commandant's fucking security team coming into country, working with the local nationals,
doing security,
Force, doing security shit with him and setting up everything, setting up like all like the route plan and everything. And all I got out of that was an LOA.
Wow.
But again, I was a sergeant at the time, having like a staff billet and above. And the OIC, who was a colonel at the time, he switched out and he refused to do a letter of continuity for the inbound colonel to be able to write me an award for when I left.
Because that's too much work and effort. That's why.
Yeah. So once again, it got hoed, and then from there, before going to Bahrain, Monitor was like, "Oh, when you comes time to come back to the States, I'll give you anywhere you want." Turns out, on that phone call, getting ready to leave Bahrain, you're histed.
Oh, that's when you went recruiting. That's right.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what histed is, if anyone's listening,
no,
you're getting pulled to do a special duty assignment, and it's like instructor recruiting, and I'm like, I don't want to scream, run around chasing people all day screaming, so fuck it, recruiting duty. Hindsight, go drill instructor. Anybody, go drill instructor. So I ended up doing 3 years on recruiting duty. I never felt more like a number in my life until recruiting duty, and then got out in transition, which is that segue to the next piece.
I'm glad you're keeping us on script.
I'm trying.
Last time was a shit show.
I need to stop deep diving. That's all.
Yeah,
we both deep dive. I like to talk.
We have plenty of time.
I should have been a recruiter.
Yeah, recruiting duty, man. Oh my god. What would you say was like the biggest shock, culture shock, getting out?
The structure. We were always structured.
Or lack thereof, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was saying like the structure of the Marine Corps, lack thereof, because getting out, we didn't have to get up early anymore and do PT. That discipline slowly fades. I mean, we got it, in certain aspects, but the discipline slowly fades. You know, you don't have to get up early anymore. You don't have to do this. But for me, the hardest part was the fact that my date came up so quick, I wasn't prepared for shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my taps and tams, sure, or whatever, but dude, no, I wasn't prepared for shit, dude. At all. Like,
Yeah.
not one fucking thing.
So,
They almost didn't even give me my terminal leave. And I only had like 2 weeks. That's how close it was. Like, put it this way. On the first enlistment, I gave the Marine Corps like 2 weeks free because they did. My freaking career planner sucked so bad that he didn't freaking like he didn't
I forgot about
he didn't
those.
stay. Yeah, he didn't.
Fuck.
He didn't stay on top of it so bad that my EAS date already came and gone. When I was OJT with the band, they were like, "Dude, you're technically not even a part of the Marine Corps right now." They had to make me sign an extension
Just
and
to
then
separate you
re-enlist.
properly.
just to separate me properly and then re-enlist me. Yeah.
That's
damn,
wild.
that's stupid.
So that's why I was kind of nervous about getting out too, because I was like, are they gonna fuck this shit up too? But luckily the gunny I had, you know, he was a badass and was like, hey, you're not going. He was fucking with me. He's like, you ain't going anywhere, is it? He tried to keep me there because we did good work. We were a good team. We were a good team in that office. So
Yeah.
what he did is like 2 or 3 weeks before I got my terminal leave, he was just making me prepare to get out. He also made sure I was teaching the new guys what to do, so that when I left, they weren't calling me saying, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that?" And then, but yeah, I wasn't prepared at all. Financially, freaking, what the hell I
get
was gonna
that.
do next? I had no
So,
plan. I
that
had
lack of
nothing.
structure.
But that
definitely
lack of structure, dude, just made me late. Like all I wanted to do was play video games, sleep, and not do a fucking thing because all we did was go 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 for 8 fucking years, dude.
So video games, that's like your outlet, your kind of
It's a little bit, yeah.
yeah.
I try not to get sucked into it nowadays. Like lately, I haven't really been playing lately these past few weeks just because the balance with school, work, the kids have
The family,
extracurriculars
yeah.
now. Yeah.
I
So
get
it's
it.
been hard. But it's definitely an outlet for sure. But like even going to school, man, trying to keep that structure was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
What
So
about you, Miguel?
I think I can jump in now. That's a perfect segue for me to jump in, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of, off of what you just said, right? So I got out, or I was in the process of getting out. If you guys have gotten a VA rating, I know Lucy, you have. Ephraim, I don't know about you. I don't think
I
you have.
just got it. Fucking 10 years later, just got one.
Yeah. So it's not apparent what you're gonna get when you're being medically retired. So I know my DOD rating was like 30%, which is nothing for just my injury. But then they look at all your other issues.
Right.
So I didn't know what I was gonna get until well after me separating from the Marine Corps. So the first job that became like we want to hire you. I didn't even entertain anyone else. They said, "Oh, you want to hire me? Yeah, sign me up." It's a stepping block. I'll take it for what it's worth. They paid shit. This was at a power plant, kind of doing what I did in my younger years, which I felt like at the time I needed to kind of get that experience in the real world, because I've been in the management leadership role so long that I wasn't a worker, so I wouldn't be relatable or a viable option for these employers when I got out. So I took the first job that became available, and it was like a shit paying job, shitty hours. It stressed me out. Like, dude, that job, it was at a power plant, and
I remember.
I fucking hated every second of it. I did it for a year, exactly. A year and like 2 months. So not exactly, but I know I got a bonus. So I stayed because and it was a substantial bonus. It was like 10 grand. And I know that if I said, "Hey, I'm going to put in my 2 weeks," at this time, I don't want to do this anymore, that bonus would have been, would have been taken away from me. So
Yeah.
I I stuck through it. The last day I worked until the very last day, and there ended up being an oil leak. So we had to. It was a big oil, like fucking hundreds of gallons of oil, in California, by the way, and they're like hardcore EPA and
Super
regulation.
strict,
Yeah. So I was shoveling, and I could have left, right? But that was just me and he was a Marine as well. I was like, you know what, man? I'm not gonna leave you in this shit alone. I'll stick it through with you, and then I'll be done. So, fucking, dude, I got done at like 2 a.m. the next day, and then
Damn.
at 2 a.m, I told my manager that, hey Tyler, yeah, I'm done, man. I'm not gonna do this anymore. Consider this my last day. Thank you for what you've done. He said, all right, man, I understand. Like, he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I was there, man. Because Lucy can tell you, man, I'm a very vocal. I don't hide shit. So, like, I will let you know
Not at all.
one way or another, like, this isn't for me. So, like, this dude was, like, intimidated by me, I think. Because of my background, he was in the Navy for 4 years. He was like a turbine guy on a ship somewhere. That was his experience, and then he worked at a power plant. That was it. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm done with this. This isn't for me. I got a job offer back in Jersey. So I took that job because it paid better. It was a lot more. But the hours, it was blood money. I got a really.
And you were commuting far too.
Yes, so I would commute to the city essentially. So it was the New York campus. This was at a data center. For those that don't know, at Equinix, I was a senior engineer there. That's what the job was, at a data center. And I would commute. Some days it would take one way 4 hours. One way because of traffic, and I just felt like my life was withering away, man. And I was like, you know what?
Damn.
I was stressed. My wife was, she was at my throat, like you need to do something else. So I got, this job where I'm at now, with the UPS company, they found me. They saw my resume. I wasn't looking for a job at the time. And I kind of just, all right, well, it's a sign. I'm going to take this job. They gave me an offer. It was a 6-figure offer. And Lucy, you saw it.
I did.
I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna jump on this because I went from I went from a $29 an hour job in California, not knowing what I was gonna get when I got out, to that. I was like, all right, and I'm back home with structure, with support. My mom is right down the road from me, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Little did I know, his fucking job is stressful, dude. Dude, I have 30 fucking grown-ass men. Bro, I have a guy, he's been with the company since 1985 that works for me. He's one of my reports. 1985. You can't teach him new tricks. He is in his fucking ways. He's about to, retirement is at the door. He don't give a fuck what I have to say. He doesn't care. And I get it. Like, dude, I appreciate you. I appreciate the knowledge. I'll be with him this week, actually, in Wisconsin. But, like, what am I gonna show you that you don't already know? Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's I don't know. Lucy, I don't know if you have reports under you, or Ephraim, if you have guys under you that
Not
you have
anymore.
to train.
Thank
But it's
God.
like, what do you teach this guy or show this guy that doesn't make you look like an idiot? Right? It's like, I don't know. Well, we're just gonna fucking call it a day. Good job. Thank you for what you do. And move on. And fucking move on.
And that thank you for what you do, I think was the biggest culture shock for me.
Dude.
The while you're in, right? It's thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And the reality of it is when you get out, no one fucking cares. No one cares about how long you were in, what
No.
rank you were in,
Nope.
Yep.
what you did. No one fucking cares. All they care about is what skills you have and what you can do for the organization.
Organization.
So for me, that was my biggest culture shock. especially being on recruiting duty. My last
Mhm.
3 years were on recruiting duty. So I'm out in the general public, civilians, all fucking day in either the Deltas, the dress blue Deltas or Charlies, depending on what time of year, and then the full on dress blue Bravos, right? Where everyone's thanking you for your service. If you go out, they're buying you a drink. All these little things to show, the support and whatnot. But the second you turn into that civilian, that veteran, that's all you get is a thank you for your service, a nice pat on the back. And I'm not saying that to seem entitled, like I want those things.
Yeah.
I say it as the reality of, for those people that are in, and it's like, oh, when I get out, all these things people respect. No, reality is no one gives a shit, and that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, especially those individuals
When their
that have been
egos
in.
when their egos aren't in check, yeah. When
And it's
for those individuals that all they had was the Marine Corps.
yeah. So those,
Yeah.
those guys that have been in 12, 15, 18, 20, 25
Or any
years,
any
they get
any
out.
branch of service for that matter.
Yeah, any service that's they've been in for so long, they drink the Kool-Aid and they feel that entitlement. They believe the world owes them something because I served X amount of years. It's like, reality is the world doesn't owe you anything, big dog.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that?
Full volunteer service.
You know what's funny about that? So I have a master chief that works for me. And then he was E9 in the Navy. He fucking works for me now.
Yeah.
And this
And to your-
motherfucker, bro, is such a fucking difficult individual to fucking deal with, bro, because he's like, he's entitled. I did X, Y, and Z. You can't talk to me
Yeah.
that way. Well, like, you know what? This is a one-way.
Yeah.
I'd go back to my Marine Corps roots. This is a one-way conversation. I don't care what you have to say right now. Shut up.
Yeah. So there's that side of the spectrum, right? And then I actually
That's
have
funny,
a
man.
very, very, very good example of the opposite side of the spectrum, the people that have that humbleness, that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
realize and remember, like, no, that was this part of my life, not this part. Because there was actually someone who I was on recruiting duty with, who was a recruiting instructor, master sergeant, retired as a master sergeant. I got out, right? And funny enough, he ends up coming to work at the company I work with, working under me. Humblest dude you can ever meet. Treated me with respect the entire time that I knew him as active duty. Didn't necessarily treat me as a Marine, but treated me as a man.
Which goes a long way.
And coming out and essentially working for me, working for me, he maintained that. Which it goes back to like that character of like, no one cares what you do. It's about what you did. It's about what you can do. And he knew that. He had that mindset.
That mindset, yeah.
And I'll name drop him right now, Fritz fucking Demosthenes, right? Because he's one of those few Marines that made it to the end that didn't lose that mindset of where they came from.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the culture shock. And again, it wasn't that I felt entitled. It was just like, you think this picture of what it's going to be like when you get out, of like, oh, people are going to respect me because of my service and da 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 da. Reality is, no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You're absolutely
So that was
right,
a hard
man.
pill to swallow. But again, I don't have that entitlement. It was just that I'm proud of what I did. I'm
Yeah.
proud of being a Marine. But I also have to acknowledge that doesn't mean shit to anybody but me.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
fucking feel
for me-
that, dude.
For me, that was the biggest one, especially because of the pedestal I held the Marine Corps on before I joined the Marine Corps. Yes, it was a strong, strong love-hate relationship during. I'll never do it again, but I will never give up.
You wouldn't do it again? If you could start all over and do it again, you wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Dude, I would do it another day, another way, different way.
I don't
Some
think
of the
I would.
mistakes I made.
I don't, and I think about that too. Is I wouldn't, because that's how I got here.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't. I'm playing devil's
yeah,
advocate.
no, I wouldn't, because that experience was that, and I don't think I'd
yeah.
want it any other way.
My biggest thing was I had a lot of bad leaders in the Marine Corps. And I think
That
that
makes sense, yeah.
my my outlook and my perspective and the way that I treated other people was a reflection of that, because all you fucking senior leaders are terrible, and I'm going to be different because I can be. Not
Yeah.
because I want to be, because it's the right thing to do. And dude, I still keep in touch with people to this day. You, Ephraim, we didn't serve together, but I think I saw you once, twice. Yeah, while we were
a
in.
lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of other
Yeah,
connections.
yeah. But
Physically, yeah.
I had a lot of shitty fucking leadership in the Marine Corps, man, and
And you had a lot
I'm
of
nothing like that.
but you also had a lot of shitty situations that you dealt with in your personal life.
Yeah.
Those shitty leaders didn't help you.
Oh, dude, they made it worse, bro. And
So
we
you
didn't even
were-
touch on any of that, which that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
But-
So no,
But
that-
yeah,
but that's a piece of it, you know.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you know, what would you say? You know, we've all been out for a while now.
dude.
So looking back, what would you say is a big win that you are proud of since transitioning out?
Since transitioning out, Ephraim, I'll cut you off real quick so that I won't go and nosedive like you will. I am proud. I know that a lot of the guys that I served with that worked with me and for me, I keep in contact, like I mentioned, to this day. We have a great relationship, and that connection, man, you can't forge that in any other scenario or situation, right? And aside from that alone, right, that brotherhood that was forged, I am such a more successful person now because of the Marine Corps. And, you know, I owe the Marine Corps a lot, whether, you know, it like you said, it was a love-hate relationship. It taught me so much, man. And it definitely put me ahead of my peers when I was getting out. But I didn't realize it at the time. I just, you know, I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
But it put me ahead of the game, and I am in a really good situation now, career-wise, because of it. And, you know, I can't thank the Marine Corps enough for that and those experiences that led me to this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ephraim, you go. So, I don't want to know that.
I mean that summed it up really in a lot of ways. You know, I think eventually I did find that structure and the balances and stuff that, you know, I felt unbalanced. So, biggest thing I do gotta give the Marine Corps credit for is, yeah, it did pay for my school. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to say I graduated with my bachelor's.
Yeah.
You know,
Hell yeah, man.
and it was easy, but it was also hard because, you know, programming sucks. I fucking suck so bad at it, dude. But it was fun. And you're right. You know, the Marine Corps did teach us a lot of shit, but when we get out or got pushed out or medically separated or whatever, it's like, you know, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. Because, like, Lucy would tell you right now, if that shit that happened to me, which again we'll get to that in another episode, my NJP, my non-judicial punishment, I would still be in, bro.
Yeah.
I would probably still be in today. Because again, I had a lot of shitty leaders too, but I think compared to you guys, I had better leadership in different formats.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know
with
what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Lucy would tell you, like, in the admin field, the gunny I had, before him, it was a master sergeant, and both of them were great fucking leaders. You know what I'm saying? As long as they knew what was going on at all times,
Yeah.
which I was never afraid to talk to them, so that was even better.
Yeah. No,
It was
dude,
good.
I get that, man.
You know?
I get that. I had great examples of leaders, and then I had like the worst example, the staff sergeant Satoots and the fucking staff sergeant Paynes
Oh my god.
of the Marine Corps, and not to, like, they weren't even the worst, man. So I fucking
they
get
weren't.
what you're saying, man.
Yeah. So I mean, a big win for sure is definitely my degree, and also like seeing my wife get her degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause she served too. So like seeing both of us freaking have degrees, careers. I mean, she's a special education teacher, which is pretty badass. So, like,
Yeah.
She's killing it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a huge win. Huge win.
Yeah, that's
Can't say it better than that, man.
I mean, when you think about it, for someone who mentioned earlier went to school in Louisiana, came back home, wasn't sure how they were going to get back to school, if they could get back to school to finishing their degree. Yeah, years later, but the fact that you committed to it,
And you did it.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
definitely is something to be
Yeah.
proud of.
Fuck
While
yeah,
working
man.
a full-time job, while being a fucking parent and a
For
husband,
real.
all those things, right? So yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that's fucking hard. That's a
Proud of that
feat,
shit.
honestly.
Yep.
I
And
gave up.
It,
I gave
she
up.
was at the time she was a stay-at-home mom and going to school full time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With having to go to at least one class on campus.
yeah,
You know, that was
In
20, 30
person.
minutes away. Yeah.
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 Like
No,
I'm super proud of her, dude.
it's not easy for someone who's doing it themselves. Working full time, going to school full time for not just my bachelor but masters. But I'm not even married. I'm not fucking a parent. I don't
Yeah.
have. I don't have
I don't know,
any.
man. You're a dog parent. There's some kind of.
I have, but so I. But it's also still maintaining that relationship, social life, and all these other things and
Oh yeah, yeah,
obligations
yeah, yeah.
that when you add all those other
It's
factors
a
into
it's a
it,
sacrifice for sure.
Mhm.
it's difficult. Um, but I think for myself that like big win, I don't necessarily think it's like a metric. Um, I think it's just the fact that again, as I mentioned before, going through therapy and having some reflection, it's the fact that I can look back on myself through the perspective of me at 7, 8 years old, 15, 16 years old, um, and knowing that everything that I'm accomplishing and have accomplished to this point is it's something that myself would have never imagined to have been capable of.
I respect that.
So having the house that I do, I never thought I was going to be able to own a home, much less the size of it.
Yeah.
Um, I have multiple vehicles, multiple cars, multiple motorcycles. Coming from poverty, I thought all these things were just a pipe dream. And I know they seem arbitrary, like physical, tangible items, but what the actual bigger picture of it paints is no longer having to live a life of only need, but being in a position of comfort and success of being able to have what I want. Those things that that younger version of me only dreamed of is that freedom, that financial
Yeah.
freedom that I have. Because at the end of the day, I can sell all everything, and at the end of the day, that won't matter. But it's the fact that I know that I'm capable of that, is what I would say.
Or lose it. Or lose it for that matter.
Or
Oh
And
yeah.
then
lose
get
it
it all.
and
Yeah.
get it all again.
I get that. I get that sentiment,
Because
man.
last year I sold. I was gonna sell my house. At the time, I
I
had
remember. I
I had
remember.
I had, I
You
had
remember
three
that, yeah.
motorcycles. I had three motorcycles. I had three different cars, and I sold two of those cars. I sold two of the motorcycles, and I was down to one. And I was gonna sell the house and all these things. I was going through some shit last year, but here I am back now. Two cars, four motorcycles, still have the house. So it's like it comes and goes. It honestly it doesn't mean anything, but it's the ability to know that I am in a place
Where you can do
to
that.
do
Yeah.
whatever I want.
Yep.
So that is what I would say I'm proud of. But Ephraim, and then we'll go to Miguel. If there's one piece of advice to someone um, who's about to get out, what would it be?
Oh, that's a fucking great question.
If you know you're going to get out within, you're in that last year and you've directly made that decision to get out, you should be saving your leave so you can have your terminal leave. You should start saving money because unless you're getting pushed out, you're not getting separations pay. And you need to have a valid plan. whether you're going to school, you need to have a job, you need to have something, because once you get out, that money stops completely. You need to have a major plan for your next steps, period. Because that's where I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have a plan. I knew I wanted to go to school, but didn't know if I was going to go to school. See what I'm saying? Like, if I would have
Yeah.
planned it better, I should have just went to community college first.
Cheaper.
Got those basics. Yeah,
Yeah.
get the basics and stuff out of the way. So, I mean, yeah, definitely have a plan. And don't really tell anybody your plan, if that makes sense. Kind of work undercover.
Yo, Lil
Don't
Wayne said
work
it
out
best,
in the
man.
open. Hey,
Lil Wayne said it best, bro.
Real cheese
In the
Moving
reason-
silence like lasagna, bro.
hey, but like for real though. So like, and I'll use this like real life thing for example, real quick. When I told Lucy I was gonna get this job, this inventory job, because I was picking, right? I was picking cases in the warehouse. Lucy, Alora, which is my wife, and a few other people, like that were again the circle, right? The circle knew, but everybody at work, nobody knew I
idea.
was gonna make that move.
Yep.
Until I applied for it, got the interview with my boss, Aaron, because we had discussed it, again, me and him had discussed it, and maybe like one other manager, because that other manager didn't want me stuck in the warehouse, right? Especially with guys in the union that have been working there since 1967.
Tell me how you really feel.
Bro, just retire already. Jesus, bro. Fucking holding everybody up. Anyways. But yeah, so like I made, I made
Get
my
to your
moves,
fucking point, man.
and nobody knew until I got the job, bro. Until I got that acceptance letter. So like, just don't tell anybody what you're doing, because what if someone gets jealous and then we're like, you know what?
And people
I
bring you
want-
down. I get it.
I want that job, bro. I could have taken that job from you. Nah,
And, you,
nobody needs to know that shit.
and that's part of the human
That
flaw.
human factor.
The human flaw or
Mhm.
factor is that misery loves company, bro. And people would rather see you fail than succeed. So
Facts.
you move in silence, man, and do what you got to do.
Yep.
I agree with it
Yep.
1,000%.
Yeah.
But plan.
No, absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. Miguel, what would
So,
you say?
all right, just to jump in, I would say that, and this is a big thing in the Marine Corps, right? That my entire time coming up, you would hear the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and I'm here to tell you that's a bunch of bullshit. It is. It's a bunch of fucking
It
bullshit.
really is.
It's
it
bullshit.
really is.
I am making more money than I ever imagine I'd be making, with some skills given to me by the Marine Corps and some hard work. And that's all it is, right? It's putting in the effort to get there. Some long nights, some rough days, and knowing how to and persistence and knowing how to speak, right?
Mhm.
But the Marine Corps taught you how to speak, right? So
Listen.
if you listen, the grass is greener on the other side. It will be scary. It will be stressful, but it is achievable. It is doable. You just have to put in the work.
Yep.
Period. That is it.
Yeah,
That's
no, I think that's perfect, because to your point, the entire time that I was in, our younger brother is in now, and he's hearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to be successful in the civilian world. You're never going to make it in the civilian world. Oh, it's so hard out there. You might as well just stay in. How do you know?
yeah.
When you've been in
Exactly.
for the last
So-
10, 15, 20 years, how do you know?
So when we were at Second CB, Lucy, I don't know if I told you this. You might have, before we deployed, my second deployment, your first. I was kind of in this like rut in life, man, where I wanted to get out. I think I talked to you about this.
Yeah,
We talked about it because we were close even then, and I remember getting all the paperwork signed to get out early. Like I had the packet fucking signed, filled out, ready to go, but I was just so scared, man, of what was next. The unknown, that I kind of sat on it. And I remember speaking to Chief Officer Bartram at the time, which he gave me great advice, man. I told him like, hey, sir, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And he looked at me and he told me, he said, hey, Sergeant Valito, I think you'll be successful in whatever you do, and you have my recommendation no matter what. That's what he told me. And I'm like, damn. All right, well, maybe, maybe I could just hold off a little longer. And then we got, I extended, I think, for that deployment.
You did.
I extended for it because I didn't want to do it. They said, hey, we want you to do it. You don't have to do it. You're at that time frame where you'll be getting out. And I was like, all right, you know what? The hell with it. Sign me up. I'll do it. And, I will say this. That deployment was one of my biggest regrets because I saw a side of the Marine Corps, man, and it just put such a fucking nasty taste in my mouth. And I have been to Iraq before that. But
Way that got
just so we lost, not to go into too much detail, we lost guys that we knew, that we hung out with, we talked to on a day-to-day basis, and we lost them, man, and it's like it never happened. So our battalion commander was a piece of work, but the commanding general at the time didn't even know the guys' names when they died under his watch. It was terrible, man. And, I know Lucy wears his KIA bracelet, but I don't wear mine at all because I feel like those guys, they died for no reason, man. And I don't think I've talked to you about that, Lucy, but
that's why I wear it.
It bothers me a lot, man. Just going off on caveats a little bit, or tangents, excuse me, but
tangents, caveat. That's really strong.
Damn, boy, you deep dove right there, bro.
Yeah,
Damn.
no, without going too far into that.
Yeah,
I agree. It was handled very tasteless, very poorly.
Poorly.
When it was time to remember them, it was a dog and pony show.
It was.
And that's why I wear mine. Is because of that. Like it felt like it was a fart in the wind. Like it came and went. People looked at it, did damn, and then moved on. And it was a real shame, because that deployment at the end of the day, reality is it was pointless. We shouldn't have been doing those missions. We should not have been there. There's a lot of things that were fucked up.
Yeah, we were dip-milling areas and it was just for our battalion commander to get a promotion. That's how I felt, anyway. Yeah. And oh, dude, listen, man, that deployment. And listen, I will say this: that after that deployment, I wasn't okay. I don't talk about it with anyone, and it's not like I'm saying I have PTSD or anything like that. But I know that shortly after that deployment, when I got back home, I was getting divorced within 6 months. Like that was it. The talks were separated, divorced after like 6 months after. But I was just not the same when I got back, dude. I was fucking numb to everything. It just, I don't know. It left the fucking.
I remember.
And it left a fucking shitty taste in my mouth. And some of those dudes were good dudes. I knew Staff Sergeant Stewart personally. I didn't know the other guys. I didn't know the dog, obviously. No, I mean, somebody knew that dog, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
anyway.
That's a talk I don't get to have with people because, I just feel like it. And I remember going to counseling and talking to someone about it through the VA, and I felt like I was just wasting my time. Like, why am I even talking to you?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna talk this through with me and give me direction or guidance, then all you want to do is give me medication, then I don't want to fucking talk to you.
Yeah. I will say, and I'll reel it back.
Yeah.
I will say that I sought therapy while in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like anything. And then the second time around with an actual therapist on the side, it has worked exponentially for me.
Now, do you think part of that is because you were able to absorb what happened and kind of dissect it in a way?
I think just overall things. I think for one, there's a level of care that is different than the side that's just operational to keep you operationally functional. Where it feels like someone genuinely cares about you healing.
So when you say operational, I think checking a box.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
Where that's how the VA or active duty is
Yeah.
like. It's like, all right, we're doing it to say we're doing it versus, I'm seeing someone basically on your own dime because it's insurance that you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
Um, where there is like a genuine investment, despite that. Like there's an actual person there that wants to see you heal and wants to see you grow. But we can talk about that
Different day. Yeah.
separately.
Different trauma.
But yeah, but I think I've seen it on both ends, from being a recruiter, both Marine Corps and civilian, right? Um, is I put people into the Marine Corps. I've seen those people that I put in the Marine Corps get out of the Marine Corps. I've seen people coming out of the military, that have been trying to join organizations that I was hiring for. Um, and I will say that the couple pieces of advice I could give is put in the effort, actually try to learn, try to better yourself, take everything that you can take out of the military as a whole. Um, because at the end of the day, no matter how long you're in or how short you're in, you're gonna have to hang up that uniform.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't stay in it forever. So learn everything you can. Be a sponge.
Be a
Learn,
sponge. I've heard that
Yes.
before.
yeah, learn the good and the bad things from leadership. Um, take what you want from it. Be your own leader. Um, of course, the obvious, have a plan when you get out, type shit. But humble yourself. I
Yeah.
think would be the biggest one. Is humble yourself, because guess what? Just because you led people in the uniform doesn't mean you can lead people in the civilian world. Those skills don't always translate.
I can
Uh,
I can attest to that.
you're,
Yes,
you're
yes, sir.
you're not worth six figures. The reality is 90% of the people coming out of the military think they deserve six figures. Hell, you barely deserve fucking 60K. Let's be real.
Yep.
Um, humble yourself, because I've seen a lot of individuals come out of the military, and I've gone through different, um, hiring seminars, different hiring events, different, um, conferences, all for military specific. Going from that E1 all the way up to the E9, the O1 to the or E9, yeah, O10. Um, and a lot of individuals think that they are worth $1 million, and you're not. And that's the reality. It's nothing personal.
Mhm.
It's just the truth. So if you want to be worth that $1 million, that six-figure paycheck, it's learning everything you can learn and being able to
Yep.
apply that.
Let me
Um,
caveat that off that real quick. You will be told no, you're not good enough for this job when you apply, and that's okay too.
it is.
So I
It
know
is.
that was the biggest deterrent for me and the biggest letdown. And I know I felt like giving up a lot when
Yeah.
I applied to a job, and I was told, sorry, we're going a different route, or we don't think you're a good fit for this role, which you will hear. That's okay also.
Yeah.
Something will come along that fits your situation, your capabilities, your scope, that you can handle.
Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Like everything happens for a reason. You just may not know it.
Yeah.
Before my current job, I was looking for like 6 months.
I remember.
I interviewed a lot, and it felt like it was going nowhere.
Dude, I remember the dealerships, man.
And and
Yeah.
finally got to where I am, and everything just felt right. And
If
and I had other offers on the table, but they didn't feel right. And there was also a lot of offers I didn't get. And being a
Mhm.
recruiter, you start to think and be hypercritical of yourself, like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
over. It's just part of the process. And if you can interview. It's good practice. It's good training. It's good skills.
Yep.
Um, but you're gonna hear no a lot, and humble yourself. That's the biggest piece I could give. Um, so with that, I think we can go ahead and close this one out.
I think
Uh,
so.
we've gone on for a little while.
Almost 2
we'll work-
hours, bro.
Yeah, we'll work on condensing this. So that's
The
it for
deep
this
dives. It's the
episode.
deep dives.
Thanks for sticking around if you're listening.
That's our host, guys. That's our host,
Yeah,
Lucy.
if you're a veteran, active duty, or someone just curious about the military life and the transition back to civilian world, appreciate you being here. If you're listening, if there's anybody, staying humble, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So just stay tuned for the next one, I guess.
There will be a
I
next
think
one.
I think the topic we have is the brotherhood versus the bullshit. What's real and what's just hype. So
Yep.
we'll see how that one goes.
Episode 2.5.
Until then.
All right, it's been
Bye.
real, guys. Peace.
Peace.
That was